It's better. Yeah, once again we are back. Uh, I'll start with the recap. Okay, recap. Retina senses edges. That's we told that the retina senses edges. Then retina finds out motion. Detects motion. Okay, detects motion. Detects edges and detects color. Okay. In this session we will be trying to learn about edge detection and motion detection. Okay. Because color seems to be a little more complicated, we'll deal it in another chapter. Okay, not another chapter, we'll deal it in another class. Okay, so this is motion detection and edge detection. Now we told that all the bipolar cells have and its ganglion cells have got its receptive field. Yeah, and we told that all receptive fields, this is the receptive field. Okay, this whole thing, 3-dimensional, you should imagine, and there's a receptive field, and this receptive field, all receptive fields have this center and periphery thing happening. Okay, center active and periphery is inhibiting, and we talked about it later. The center, when it's active, if the whole thing is excited, the center is active and the periphery inhibits it, and so no information comes to the bipolar ganglion. Okay, if the center is stimulated and the periphery is not stimulated, then this inhibition won't be there and the bipolar cell will fire. Okay, and there are cells other way around also. If the center is dark, it will fire. Okay, so essentially there is this center surround property of all retinal fields. So you will think that edge detectors are all in one place and motion detectors are another place. No, it's actually they are all true. So for example, let's look at this picture. Okay, see, you can see that there are huge receptive fields for certain ganglia, like marked in yellow, and they overlap also. Okay, so this might be motion detecting cells or something like that, these yellow receptive fields. Okay, and on top of that you can see that there are small violet receptive fields. These might be for small edges and very detailed thing. So you see that retina has got all kinds of cells at all places, but the proportion varies depending upon the place. Like as in the fovea, there will have lots of cells, and it will be, so see here, you can see that here the fields are close by. Maybe this is the area of the fovea, and as it goes to the periphery, see, it becomes bigger receptive field. Okay, so it's like that. Here also the same. Here the fields are very small because we are focusing on the eye or something, and at the periphery it is larger. Okay, and all these things are overlaid upon each other, and it stimulates separate series of retinal ganglions. Okay, each of this, all this yellow might be linked to one type of ganglion. Okay, so that is the idea. Now we will come to edge detection. Okay, edge detection. edge detection, how can we identify edges using the surround center field is what we will be discussing. Okay, so let's take this into consideration. Okay, so this is a patch of retina. Okay, just imagine this is the patch of retina. Okay, and we have this center area. Okay, this is the center and this is the surround. Okay, and if we shine light on the surround as well as the center, you can see that the firing is almost same and nothing happens. There is always a baseline firing of the ganglion cells and no change occurs. So if the center and the surround are both stimulated, nothing is going to happen. Okay, and now you can see in this case also. Okay, if the center here is, okay, I'll mark it. If the center here is, if the center here has got darkness and the periphery also has got darkness, still see it's the same rate of firing only. Okay, but if the center is dark and the surrounding is light, then you see that this ganglion fires very rapidly. And I have told you the mechanism by how it works, because this is horizontal cell inhibition. So if the center is off and the surround is on, center off, surround is on, then it fires maximally. So center, okay, center, this is all recap. Okay, center off, surround on. Okay, that fires maximally. Okay, you see that. So this is called off ganglion. Okay, it's called off ganglion. Okay, you can check how it does this using the how glutamate changes, using all these things. You can go and check using photo transduction. You have to do the math and see whether this happens. Okay, do it. Do how the glutamate, take a paper and draw that thing and photoreceptors supplying the center and the surround fields. When the light hits, what happens? Glutamate reduces, and how this produces this kind of effects. You have to do it. Okay, there's no other way. It's a calculation. If you do it, you will understand. If you just listen, you won't understand. You might understand, but it is easier to do it. Okay, so this is called the same. Okay, so like on off ganglion cell, because the center is off. Okay, you can see that the center is off here. Okay, so this is called off ganglion cell, this thing. Okay, and now you can see that there are other kinds of cells also. This is the most common, but yeah, there are other kinds of cells. Okay, other kind of receptive fields in which if the center is on, if the center is on and the periphery is off, okay, center has got light and the periphery has no light, then this fires. Okay, so this is called on ganglion cells. Okay, now when this happens, how does this happen? Again, check back on the previous lecture, or maybe even the video that I shared. Okay, so that is about it. Now, how can this be used to detect an edge? Okay, so that is what we are going to focus on right now. Just imagine this. Okay, okay, there is a small edge here. Okay, this is the edge. What you are seeing is this edge. Okay, this edge is at the border of the center and the surround. So what happens? Okay, so what happens if this is a, just imagine that this is an off ganglion cell. Okay, so what is this? The center is completely lit up. Okay, when the center is completely lit up and the surrounding, this surrounding is partially black like this, so what happens? The surround will inhibit the center. Okay, the darkness will inhibit the center, and the center is not even stimulated because this is an off ganglion. Just imagine this is an off ganglion. If this is an off ganglion, the surround is actually inhibiting the center, and the center is not even activated, zero. So what will happen to the bipolar firing here? It will go down. See, there is no firing. It might have been firing like this, and then when this came about, it will stop firing. Okay, I'll draw it once more. Okay, so normal firing was probably like this, but when this border came, the firing even stopped because the surround inhibits the center, and the center is not even activated because this is an off cell. The center is inhibited by light. Okay, which is the same because reduction in glutamate happens. Reduction in glutamate happens when light falls on the photoreceptor cells. Okay, so an off ganglion cell is similar. Okay, now that is it. So this can happen. There is a inhibition. So this is a valid information. This shows that some edge is here. So this can be detected as an edge. Okay, and another thing is, look at this point. If it comes here, look at this. If it comes here, if the edge moves here and you shine a light so that there is an edge here, what happens? The center is dark. Okay, see, the center is dark, so it gets stimulated. The center has got a positive effect, and the surrounding will try to inhibit. But when we try to inhibit with the surround, what will happen? This surround is actually black, only half. This much is actually filled with light. Because there is light, the inhibition will be reduced. Okay, so what will happen? This ganglion cell, if it was firing normally like this, starts firing rapidly. Okay, so we have found an edge by two methods. So this is an edge. You can do the same with on ganglion. Okay, on ganglion edge detection. On ganglion edge detection. Okay, it will have features like this. You have to do it. Okay, take a paper, take two circles and do what is going to happen. Use the previous class to create this, so you can find an edge like this. Okay, so all these edges we have got. So, and the funny part is that in an off cell, if both the surround and the center are both dark, it still doesn't fire because the surround will inhibit the center. So nothing actually, there is no information. Only differences in contrast are identified. See, if this cell has no difference in contrast, then it doesn't need to identify. Okay, so the signal doesn't even go. Same case here. Same case, if the whole cell is full of light, center and the surround both is full of light, still it doesn't fire much. Only differences in contrast get a firing. Okay, so that is how we detect an edge. So you can tell that what happens, it is probably even a dot. Even this can, either it's a dot or a line or something like that. So there is an edge there. That is what we find out. Okay, so we detected edges. Now why do we not detect edges? All these edges can go to the cortex, and like we draw small buildings like this, we'll add up all the edges and make a house. Okay, so that is how it is done. So this is the edge. So the funny part is, if you look at certain if you look at the center of the field and you don't move your eyes, it is very difficult to find out. Okay, difficult. Our vision will fail, that I have told you. Okay, so look at this. We will just try this. Okay, this is the. Okay, this is moving. This is so sad. Okay, so look. This is the mountain. Okay. If you look at this cell, there is no edge, so this won't fire. Okay, so this won't fire actually. This doesn't fire at all, but this cell has got an edge, so this cell will fire, and hence we will find the edge. So you know that this is firing, this is firing, this is firing, and this is firing. So you will get a series like this, small edges like this. Okay, like you can see that. Okay, we'll do in this. This has got an edge. This has got an edge. This may not give an edge. This also may not give an edge. So it is like this, and there will be small gaps, like we draw. Okay, so this is how edges are detected. There might be small gaps. We don't see the whole thing. You can test that. You don't see small things, and you can see that this is true. So this is how you detect edges. So we've covered edge detection, how center surround receptive fields will give us edge. Okay, now direction selectivity. You can see that, I mean, watch the videos that I have linked in the first chapter. Okay, when we give light, how it goes, when we pass motion, how the cells are firing, and all these things. Okay, so watch these videos. That'll give you a better idea. This is actually this is not moving. Okay, you have to see it when the light comes, when it starts firing. You can hear the sounds, and it's awesome to see that. Okay, so if you haven't yet seen the videos, go back to the previous lecture on the YouTube and look at the comments, and I've linked a few videos. Watch those videos. Okay, very good videos. You can see, especially the about the history and the Huber and Wiesel thing. Okay, so that is it. So you can see that if this is a receptive field and there is a visual stimulus like a light source, straight light source, and you move it in this direction, when it comes here and it reaches here, this starts firing like this. Okay, and when it passes this field and goes off, it won't fire. Okay, so that is there. If you keep the thing in the center and just keep it there without movement, also it won't fire. It will keep like firing normally. Okay, it senses only motion, and the fact is that it is direction sensitive. Some cells will record motion only. I mean, in fact, if you see that cells are arranged in such a way that there is an XY axis into which it is mapped. If a thing is moving in the X direction, it is recorded. If it is moving in the Y direction, there are another sets of cells, and we see that whether it's moving to the right, whether it's moving to the left, whether it's moving upward or downwards. Okay, now how would you implement it? Okay, the implementation is using these amacrine cells. Okay, if you imagine that, just imagine. Okay, there is a light source. Okay, and it is moving from right to left. So you can imagine that first it will stimulate this bipolar neuron, second it will stimulate this bipolar neuron, third it will stimulate maybe this bipolar neuron, and it has got all these things. So now you can use these amacrine cells and you can connect in such a way that if this bipolar neuron fires, it will inhibit the next bipolar neuron. Okay, and this bipolar neuron and this bipolar neuron. I mean it will inhibit the firing of these ganglion cells. So now what happens is, when this gets fired, this is actually inhibited. This bipolar cell is inhibited here, negatively inhibited. Okay, so when this fires, this is inhibited. So when this object comes here, because of the inhibition of the amacrine cell, this won't be able to fire another ganglion cell. So now what happens is, if a thing moves from right to left, these cells cannot detect. No detection. But if it is going from left to right, okay, these amacrine cells are connected from right to left here. It inhibits the things to the left. Okay, just imagine like that. So if it is moving from left to right, it will only inhibit things to the left, no? So this can get stimulated, next this can get stimulated, and next this can get stimulated, and you can do the calculation. This ganglion can know that it is moving from left to right. Okay, so it's a crazy mechanism. You can see this. Okay, so this is the preferred direction thing. If this is stimulated, if light is going like this, these ganglion cells can understand, okay, this got stimulated and this got stimulated, and if okay, and there will be a small circuit that delays this. So when this synapse comes and fires and this together fires together, this ganglion will say that motion has happened. Okay, it's time sensitive, motion has happened. If it goes from right to left, what will happen? This will get stimulated, but because this is stimulated, this amacrine cell will come and inhibit this cell. So when it goes to the next area, it won't produce a firing in this ganglion cell because this is already inhibited. So like that we can understand direction, and you can see that it is arranged beautifully in an XY plane. See, the green is detecting up, yellow is detecting down, like this. Okay, so it's kept in such a way that it can actually understand where anything is moving. Okay, now why would you want that to happen is my question. Okay, so this is very important because visual processing senses motion very important. Okay, and if you see that video in about the origin of vision and that documentary start regarding Hubel and Wiesel, you can see a beautiful video of the cat moving. Okay, I'll try to put that on. Where
out of that color that they see. To discover objects, the visual system tries to find important boundaries. It uses edge and line detecting neurons, whose characteristics have been investigated by Hubel and Wiesel. Here, you can see the results of the red, green, and blue edge detectors. Look at the blue edges. It is hard to believe that there is a cat in there.
Why are the blue edges so much? Because it's very dark. When it is like very dark, we will go and try to get more, blue, ultraviolet and things like that. And blue is supposedly the darkest kind of thing. So dark things will look more blue because it is like that. Okay. We will discuss about that in color vision. Anyways.
What I'd like to show you now is
this is the most important fact. Okay, why object motion sensitive cells are very important. Just watch this.
Images.
Okay.
The things that the brain seems to look for are constancies and simplicity. Imagine that you are in your visual system looking at this pattern of active neurons, but you can't recognize the pattern.
When it starts moving, you can see the cat.
Because all the points in the cat picture move together. This is an example of the brain using rigidity to recognize moving objects.
Yeah, so that is about it. See the whole video, but I just showed you. But just in case you guys are too lazy to go look in, I just showed you. I think it's pretty interesting to know that. So that is it. Now that now like how does our retina do it? So how it does it is like same thing. Okay, if a thing is moving irrespective of the surround, if a point is moving, if a point is moving irrespective of the surround like this, the movement will produce a spike. Okay, and because the surround is not actually moving, it will be somewhere like this. Okay, these things will be there. Because it is out of sync, you will get the responses. But if we are moving our head from side to side and everything is moving, the sender moves along with the surround. So sender, there is a positive wave, and the surround, it will give a negative, and both will get cancelled off. So this is how our retina gives object motion sensitive cells. Okay, this is very important for frogs and all to catch insects and things like that. Even for us, if a ball comes, we'll suddenly move our head and catch the thing. And a lot of things are there. We don't tend to think, if everything is moving, we consider that as a same object. And there are a lot of illusions that are linked to it. Go check those videos. Okay, those illusions are crazy. Okay, so yeah, that is about it. And things that don't move actually don't get our attention. Okay, we will discuss about that in detail when we calculate a lot of illusions after talking color. Okay, there's a beautiful illusion of a lilac dot chasing. We'll talk about it after we talk about color. So basically today's class, okay, where is it? Oh my god. Today's class, we detected edges, we detected object motion cells. Okay, and then we have one more thing, one major thing, color vision. Okay, color vision, it seems that color vision is the most asked question that we'll deal in a separate chapter. Okay, but these are the more important things for vision. We ask color vision more because it seems like color blindness is a thing, and that's a common question. So yeah, receptive neurons are firing. This is an on. This is crazy. This is an on center. This is the receptive. Like, can I draw on this? No. Like, this is the receptive field. You can see. Okay, this small circle. This is the receptive field. If both are firing, the firing rate is lesser. If it is dark, the firing rate goes down. This is an on nucleus, on ganglion cell. Okay. The darkness will prevent it from firing, and if you light it up, it will fire. The center, when it's lit up, okay, all these things are there. Okay, and like, I will try to put. Okay, so that is about it. I will link videos down below. Please check them. Motion sensitive cells, I will link videos down below.